This is the Building a Clear, Authentic Brand podcast, and I'm your host, Amy Dardis. And in this episode, I am so excited to have Matt Christensen on the show. So, Matt is the president of Distributor Data Solutions, otherwise more oftenly known as DDS.
Yep.
And they do product data for e-commerce, and they work with a lot of manufacturers and distributors on being able to deliver a manufacturer's product content to a distributor's e-commerce website, which is actually how I got to know Matt while I was in the gas and welding industry working on e-commerce. We worked with Matt and DDS and his team. And it was actually through this process that I got to know Matt and his team and really watch them tap into a brand new industry, do something that hadn't been done before. And I saw them do it with just grace and professionalism and positivity. And they were one of my favorite teams I ever got to work with. And I mean, I've been in their room as they navigated some complex situations. I saw them tackle new things of like, hey, how do we do this and problem solve? And so Matt has really done an amazing job of building his team, leading his team, and choosing people really well. So I'm so excited to kind of dive into that conversation with Matt today. Matt, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm honored. I think that especially this topic of hiring and people and team, I think people talk about it a lot, but I don't know if they really live it, or I don't know what kind of things they've done to make it possible. And so it's something that I've always, obviously our company and our product is what people buy, but I've personally always taken a lot of pride personally in the hiring. And I think I've been involved in the hiring, good and bad, of everyone in the company, but maybe two of the last two people. And we've been in business for 11 and a half years. It's something I've always taken personal, and something that if a leader of a company if they're not involved, and it's harder when you're bigger, we're still less than 30 people, but it's a choice you can make. You can choose who you get to work with. And we involve, I'll tell you about our process and
Yeah.
what we do and how we've done it and some of the things that we've learned, but we involve the team as well. So if we're hiring on the dev side, then on the second interview, then we're definitely involving the team, because they should get a say in who they get to work with instead of leadership or HR. We've never once used HR to hire anybody. Never. It just doesn't make any sense to me. They don't know anything about the dev side or the data side or any of the stuff other than HR. And we're just not hiring HR people. So we've never done any of that. And so it's been cool that it's been a collaborative effort, because the team is then vested
Yeah.
in their success. And they also own it if we all make a mistake on a bad hire, which we've definitely done. In the past, we've chosen talent over personality before.
Mhm.
And if you overlook the personality for pure talent and you get somebody who can't work with a team and they know they're super smart, everyone here is super smart, but it can just be a cancer, and they want a lone wolf and work on their own. And so, I'll tell you about some of the mistakes we've made too, because you learn a lot from them.
Where do you feel like this focus on the quality of your people and the personality and character of your people came from? I mean, when you got into this, is this something that like slowly you started to kind of realize the importance of it, or had you experienced this beforehand, or was it just kind of innate in you that that's just how you view people?
Probably a little bit of everything. Having experience and working at different companies, you see what companies do well and what they don't do well, and you see people that you work with who, yeah, you would follow them or take them anywhere. And then you see people that you're forced to work with when you're an employee, you can't do anything about. And so
Right.
you just
Yeah.
go home and complain about it.
Yeah.
So, I'm a co-founder of the company. And so this is different. I have a choice in every single person we hire. And I think that was it. And my business partner worked for him for 10 years, interestingly enough. Uh, he did a really good job, and he found really good people and loyal people, and he would do things that other companies in the industry wouldn't do. And so, yeah, just having good mentors along the way, and just, finally having a choice in having full control. No one else telling you what to do. It's full control. You get to choose who works here. And so you want to do it right, just like everything else. And especially when you start a company, it's funny because you think that everything's important. Everything's the most important thing. And then after about a year, you realize, okay, here's my role, here's my focus, and this is what's important, not all the side stuff. So, but it's just something that I guess I kind of had a talent for, and can read the personality and not afraid to ask the hard questions. And we've had really good luck with the process and with the people we've got. We were talking before we started that, and if you look at our website, the many of our team has been here since the very beginning, and our turnover is insanely low. Like, it's crazy. And so
Yeah.
it's on purpose. We do have a process for this. Um, well, in the beginning, 11 years ago, we're in Salt Lake City. And so Salt Lake's a tech hub. And so we've got all these startups. There's a lot of money here. And so being a startup without private equity or venture capital backing, we didn't have a ton of money. So we also have to compete with these big name companies that are here,
Mhm.
because you have a lot of people coming out of school or young in their career, especially on the software side, that maybe want a resume build and go to a company that company looks really good on their resume. And we just weren't that. We're in product data. So we had to, one of the things we did is we've always used a recruiter, technical recruiter. And that recruiter has a couple rules that we've put on them. And especially in the beginning, we would only take resumes from people who have worked in very large companies and that want to come to a small company.
Okay.
Because having worked at multi-billion dollar companies, you realize that while the name and the resume sound good, you're working on such a micro piece of the pie.
Mhm.
And yes, they have processes that are good, but they also have an insane number of processes that get in the way of actual productivity and work that small companies can do and move faster. So that was a hard, fast rule. No exceptions. Do not send me a resume unless this person has worked for a massive company and they don't like it and they want to work for a small company.
'Cause you
No,
knew
no
then that
negotiation.
you could offer something that they would then value because they had seen the
And
other side.
they had to ask them that, because some people work for big companies and they want to stay with big companies. Like, you have to
Mhm.
be willing to take slightly less insurance. You've got to be willing to uh, have less processes that you might have liked at a large company. But you have to want to be able to actually make a difference and work on many different things to actually help the company and help your customers. So it was just a hard fast requirement. Do not ever send me, if they don't meet this, do not send it.
I love that.
So it was a good filter. And that was a way that, because we had a couple people out of college, one I can think of in particular that we hired, and they never even showed up the first day because Adobe's headquarters is here, and they got later
Mm.
next day got an offer at Adobe. So we just didn't want to deal with that. If you want to go work for Adobe, absolutely, please. But it was a really good way to filter out people that wanted to come back to a small company, and um, so that worked. Another thing we do is so we do personality. We do two-part interview. We do, depending on the role. So let's say it's on the software engineering or development side. The first interview is 100% personality. We've already got your resume. We can already tell that you've got the qualifications, unless you're lying, which is not. I mean, this. So we already know, but what we don't know is if they're a good fit. And so the
Mm-hmm.
first one is 100% personality. We don't get into any technical. And if they pass the personality, then we do a second technical, if it's on the dev side, with the dev team. If it's on the data side, second one would be with the data team. But the personality one's interesting because it's not your normal interview questions that we ask. So it's not like, tell me where you see yourself in 5 years, which nobody knows. Tell me, just those dumb interview questions. We don't do any of those.
Okay.
So some of the ones we do, so my favorite, this is my very favorite question. And we've been asking these questions forever, and we've shared them with people.
Do you have a set, list of questions that
Yeah,
you've curated that
yeah.
you make sure you're asking every time so there's consistency in the process?
So we get consistency in the process. Now,
Okay.
I don't remember the number of questions, but it's probably 20. You don't always, depending on how the interview's going, you don't always get through all of those, but you try
Right.
to hit, and some of them might be similar, but you try to hit on enough to, as you feel the flow of the interview and the person, maybe what you're wondering. But yes, definitely want consistency between candidates. But my favorite question is, and I've asked this forever, is if your best friend was sitting here, what would they say is the best part about being your friend?
Mhm.
So it's a crazy question because I've had one developer I remember say, I don't have any friends. And I'm like, we're done. Like, we're
Yeah.
done here. Like, if you don't have any friends, then you're not going to get along with anybody here. If you don't, like, you have to be a good friend. You have to do things that you don't want sometimes to be a good
Mhm.
friend. We've had really, really good answers, and we've had some that are like, that's a red flag, and probably just stop here.
And the more you ask that same question, the more discerning you probably get with the answers that you're hearing because you see the people how they answered when you hired them, and then how they turned out to be as an employee
Yeah. Yeah.
versus then maybe hearing some things being like, "Nope, that's not
Yeah.
gonna work
It's
here."
an interesting one because in the 10 years or however long we've been asking, and I always ask that one myself, everybody has always thought for a second.
Okay.
So you can tell if somebody's thinking like just very genuinely, sincerely, like my wife's my best friend, or whatever the answer is, or um, here's a story about my best friend and why I'm a good friend. And um, so you can ask follow up around that, and why do they say that? So it's just something that they don't get asked on an interview, so they can't prepare for it.
Right.
So they typically tend to be super honest, whether that's good or bad. But they do typically are pretty honest with that.
Do you have a set of, like, core values or just specific attributes or characteristics that you know you're looking for, and
Okay.
these questions help reveal that?
Yeah. Yeah, because I've always said uh, it's the reason we do, and I tell the candidates this: the reason we do the personality in the first interview, and we're not going to ask you anything technical,
Mhm.
is
So you tell
just
them that up front.
yep, we tell them that up front, and I
Okay.
tell them the reason is because we can teach you anything technical as long as you're smart, and we can tell by your resume that you're smart. What we can't teach you is not to be an asshole.
Mhm.
And that's the important thing because we've had crazy smart people that we've hired strictly for either a very specific development role or we were just in a hurry, especially early on. We're like, all right, we got to get some help to get this thing moving. In software, you're always building, well, you were always building for about a year before you could sell something. And so there's a lot of front loaded development work. And so, um, we got urgent early on. And, there's one guy that was just a absolute super smart, got a lot of stuff done, but he was just an a-hole. He's an a-hole to
Mm.
everybody. And so some of those lessons of how you can see somebody affect an entire company, especially when you're small, are just it's just not helpful. And then if you act quickly and make a decision quickly and let them go, everyone knows that, all right, you've got the best interest of the company, you've got the best interest of the whole team, and it's not just you're hiring someone technical and they're going to be able to get away with it. So it didn't
Mm.
last very long, but it was definitely a learning moment of, all right, we got to prioritize personality and being a good person around the family values and things like that and friendship and things that you just your parents probably taught you hopefully instead of a company taught you how to be a good person. So it's it's been interesting. Here's another one. I got another funny one. So another question I ask is, has anyone complained about your driving in the last 3 months? And if so, why? The same thing. Right? No one's asked it, so you have to be
Right.
honest.
No, yes. I love
So
that.
we've because it can be a number of things. You can be
Uh-huh.
myself personally. I tend to just not be in a big hurry. I don't care if I miss a turn and have to take the longer way. Drives my wife
Mhm.
nuts, but I'm just not in a huge hurry. Other people are in a huge hurry. That's fine. Other people can be. I think your personality can come out on and driving in some
Well,
fashion. So anyway,
yeah.
I asked that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah.
Uh,
So, what are some of the answers you hear about that?
so I had one guy, developer too, said, "Yeah, actually said I deliver pizzas in my spare time. I'm not married. I deliver pizzas, and um, I'm in a hurry, and so I always park in the handicap spot wherever I go." I'm
Oh.
like, "Really? You're a jerk." So again, just stop. We're done here. Thanks for coming in, but there's no reason to waste any more time when you know that like that guy's just super inconsiderate jerk. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's one that sticks out. That was
So
okay.
you're asking questions around just real life patterns and stories, not like, "How would you handle it if?" Hypothetical
No,
situation.
no. I mean, there's some like I know I've seen like Elon's favorite question typically is around what are some of the biggest problems you've had in your career and how did you solve them? I think those are super important and we ask those. But on the personality side, it's more what are they like in their everyday life?
Mhm. Just
Because at
as a
some
person.
point that's going to creep into work. You're there too much and maybe it was more important when everyone was in the office 100% of the time. Maybe not though, too, because you can get away with a lot more when you're working remote. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm really just trying to find out who they are. What are they a good person? And
Mhm.
I think that's what we've done a good job with. And the people that are here and why we have such low turnover and loyalty and they also believe in the mission and what we're doing. You have to they have to buy into what you're actually doing.
Do you spend
But
time in the interview talking about that? Like, talking about just what you guys are doing there beyond
a,
the
a
what?
little bit. I think that in interviews, what I've noticed is questions around that or responses around that, people tend to be they just want the job.
Mm,
If they've and that's also part of the vetting with the recruiter is we have a pretty decent write up about our company and what we do and why we do it. So that's another filter that we have before they come in. But candidates tend to, yeah, that sounds super interesting. I definitely want to do that, even though they clearly don't understand. They just want the job so bad. And so at the same time, in what we're looking for, it's important that they know the person expectation of what we want them to be too. So I think we don't end up having a lot of competition if it's between us and another company if a job is similar because when they go home they say this company they didn't ask anything technical and we've heard
mhm.
that so many times like they don't they nothing technical. They didn't ask what languages I know or any of this kind of stuff. They just asked if basically trying to see if I'm a good person. And so when they go home to their family it's like, oh, these guys kind of care if we're good people, and so they must care if everyone else there is good people. So yeah,
So
and
that
it's
alone is helping you stand out in what is a very competitive
yeah,
hiring market.
very yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and I think that shows when you know you as a previous customer of ours work with our CS team. They've all gone through. Well, they were most of them were all customers at some point too. We don't
They knew what it
poach.
was
We're just they
like.
wanted to come work here. I do not do
Yeah.
that. Um, but but yeah, I think that it's how they end up treating our customers too. So it and it's not a tactic. It's who we want to work
It's
with. We have a
yeah.
choice in who we're going to hire, who we're going to work with, and it's cool having the control over that. In my seat, and so I owe it to everybody here to give them the best people to work with, not just talent wise, but personality wise. So
Yeah. I love
it's
that, and I love that you say you have a choice because you 100% do. Do
yeah,
you have any thoughts as to I mean, you've seen the inside of a lot of different companies,
yeah.
especially with just in what you guys are doing. You're constantly working with, different clients of all different sizes. Do you have any thoughts on why more businesses don't see it that way, or they kinda don't wrap their head around you really do have a choice of who you choose to bring on?
Yeah, I think it's 100% the leadership. It's if the leadership believes in it, it will get done. I think some of my favorite companies, we have a lot of tech partner companies and customers. My favorite companies are the leaderships that are in my seat that believe the same thing.
Mhm.
That it's not just your leadership team that needs to be picked by you or the good ones. It's everybody. And so there's companies that we work with and have worked with who I've definitely seen it, but I haven't seen any companies where the leadership, probably the number one in charge person, does not believe that. I think if I see a, a dysfunctional company, I think of a lot of them, it's the leader. the leader's probably a jerk, or the leader doesn't care and they have different motivations as to why they're in business. And I would say that's the number one theme that I've seen.
Yeah. When you're doing your I mean, 'cause y when you're looking for these characteristics in your team, it's not just like you said, it's not just some tactic, right? It's who they
Yeah.
are because who they are is what is driving your business and driving the relationship that the service that they're providing to your customers. Because I mean,
Yeah.
even being on the other end of that, being a customer of your team, when they would show up with just I mean, it was the highest level of professionalism. I mean, so smart,
Hmm.
but also just real character, real, like, heart, real like,
Yeah.
you could tell that they cared about your success, and that's not because you're out there giving all these customer service trainings, like, it's you're just
No.
looking for people who that's what drives them.
Yeah. Do the right thing. Do the right thing for the customer, do the right thing for the company. We're never the fastest, we're never the cheapest, but we always try to do things the right way. And I think
Mhm,
that's something I've always taken in everything we do, or try to do it in everything we do, is just do it the right way. And it's an easy decision for an employee team, and we call them team. When they have a question about how should I handle this, the answer is always do what's best for the company.
mhm,
And so they've got that mentality of, they'll go the extra mile for a customer, or they'll tell a customer, we're not going to do that. And so it's do the best thing for the company is what I've always instilled in everybody. So I think that helps when you have a problem, or how should I handle this? It does that, they shouldn't have to always come to me and what to do. It's, you just do what's right for the company, and that should be pretty clear as to which choice. So,
So when you're hiring, you said you have a two-part
yeah.
two-step interview process,
Yep.
and then the first one is all personality,
Yep.
and then the second one is with the team, or
Yes. Yep.
team
So,
and technical?
yeah, so typically on the personality, we'll have myself and then one person from whatever team. It's the everything these days is kind of blended into the development side. We used to have data team split out, but now there's so much AI that the data's
Mhm,
been blended into the dev team. And I think CS is kind of on their own a little bit. That's kind of it. That's kind of the structure basically of the company. And so, yeah, if it's on the dev side, then it'll be myself and typically Tyson, and who's head of our software engineering. And if it's CS, then it'll be like myself and James, head of CS. And so whoever in charge of the department on the personality side. And then we decide together, should we
mhm.
have them come back for a second? And we don't want to have, like, again, we're still under 30 people. We don't want to have a million seconds, because what we do then is, if it's on the dev side, then Tyson picks 3 or 4 or 5 developers, and we'll do the second technical side with the candidates. And so they've already passed the personality side. We've already hopefully filtered the good people down to them, and then they do the second, and then that group decides together. One thing I do is I always go last too,
Okay.
because I don't want to influence the decision, and so I always go dead last.
That's
Always.
smart. That way they're
Yeah.
not just like they're speaking up their own
Yeah.
honest opinion
Yeah.
and then not letting it just be influenced by
Yeah.
you because it's like, "Well, Matt thought this was a good guy, so
Yeah.
we should hire this person."
Yeah, exactly. And I want to hear what they have to say, because it could change the way I look at them too. So
Mhm.
it's fun. It's fun because they get a say as well, and it's an equal say. It's not like I'm making the major, like, you guys honestly are the ones that have to work with them. I don't
Yeah.
as much. So honestly, you guys are the ones that, really need to decide. And if you think it's the right person or uh then I fully support it. So but it's good because then everyone who decided are vested. They're helping them day one. They're like, hey, let me know whatever you need. They want them to be successful. And
Mhm.
if we make a mistake, and we absolutely have, then we all made it. Not just that person was crammed
Right.
down my throat by Matt and it's his cousin or something. And so it's, it works well, has worked well.
Is the having the team in on that interview, is that something that you've started out doing as well, or is that something you kind of picked up on or learned from as you kind of, experienced more and more
With,
interview?
yeah, good question. I can't remember when we started that. I know it's been a long time. I would think we typically had at least one person technical on there because my background's not software, it's more on the IT side, so I don't know the questions to ask a software developer. So, I know we always had one, but I don't remember when we started having more of the actual team doing it. Uh, Maybe there are too many tiebreakers and we couldn't decide, so we needed more,
They
but,
needed more
uh,
people.
but
Do you uh, so are you guys you have a little bit you have a hybrid mixture of your
yeah.
team, right? So you have
Yeah, it
some people
was.
remote, some people on site,
Yep,
and both?
yep, yeah. So, we have an office downtown. There's probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 of us that are in the office every day.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I mean, like most companies with COVID, we didn't have any choice.
Right.
And so then we looked at it as, all right, this could be actually an advantage because then we don't have to just get people from Salt Lake. We can hire people from anywhere and we can really get the very best person and it doesn't have to be geographically based. So, yeah, we looked at it as, okay, this can be an advantage and we can hire anyone because we've set the culture. We did have a requirement during, and still do today. Uh, if anyone's on a call, their camera has to be on. No exceptions. I don't care if it's with the team on their daily or twice daily stand ups or a customer, but you're not allowed to be on a call without your camera
Mhm.
ever. So
Yeah.
that we started that during COVID. Really, it was the first time we were kind of remote. So I think with that and the check ins and just the accountability nature, we're really good. And that this is something we've worked on forever is being a software company. Just the planning and the tasks and the organization, and all that is definitely takes time to figure that out. But they were just gotten so good at planning and uh, knowing what we're going to build and develop or creating the tasks for all those. And then so everyone's accountable. You have a certain amount of work that you have to get done within um, a sprint. So yeah, you know what the expectations are and you just have to do it. I don't care when you do it. Some people like to work later, some people like to work earlier. So as long as you get your stuff done, then
But you're clear about those expectations from the beginning, so there's no ambiguity there. There's no, like,
no,
questioning.
no.
People know, "Okay, this is how we operate as a company, therefore, I know what I'm getting myself into, and I feel like I can thrive in that type of environment."
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, so
What are Oh, sorry, go ahead.
just to answer your question and come back to that, the hybrid, yeah, has really been an advantage and something that we even advertise through the recruiter. You know, we try to get people that are at least close in the area to come in. Oh, so I do this. We try to get him to come in on Thursdays, and so company buys lunch, and we basically bribe them to come in. So that works pretty good. And then we've got a set day where people know that more of the team will be in and they like working directly in the office with them. So we do bribe them once a week. Some people live a little further away and they'll come in once a month. The more remote, like Chicago and Illinois, Kansas, some of those are more try once a quarter to fly them in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, about that. And so pay for their flight, their hotel, and all that. And try to do it at the same time, not random. So you get everyone to come in at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we try to do to try to keep some of the office because there's no replacement, but it's just not realistic anymore to require people at our size. There's
Right.
companies with 40,000 employees in the same office. I get it. Apple, those companies, like I get it, but for us, we've made it work really, really well, and it's kind of cool because like most of our team's younger, and so they've been able to be home with their kids from the time they're born and take them to school every day and not have to drive. It's dumb to me to say, okay, you live an hour away or 45 minutes away, and so you're going to spend an hour and a half in traffic a day, not working,
Mm-hmm.
and just to say that they need to work in the office, it makes no
Mm-hmm.
sense. And
Right.
so they get to spend time with their family, spend time with their kids. They get to do things that, before COVID, they would never have been able to do. And so they get to see their kids grow up, which is very cool. So
That's huge.
yeah,
And another way that you can, I guess, set yourself apart in the marketplace without just being like, "Oh, we're gonna pay you more, so therefore you're gonna choose us." But that's not the conversation that you have at all probably with
no,
your
and it's not lasting. You know, money's great and we all need it. We're always trying to be above competitive. Um, but it's not the only thing. And so
Mhm.
if you can, I can think of a couple of scenarios where some of our team have had probably two or three kids now since the beginning of COVID. And just think about the help they've been to their wife or uh, to their kids. It's just a different, and their kids are going to be better off for it in the long run
Yeah,
anyway. So
absolutely.
it's it's kind of cool to be able to watch that, and so they'll remember that more than if you gave them an extra 5 grand or buy stupid snacks or something like that. It's just
Yeah. So
it's
you're attracting people who, one, are, like, relationship and people-driven people, so
yeah,
therefore they value the relationships in their life, they value the relationships at work, and
yeah,
you're also offering them an opportunity to work with people they like, but also be present and engaged with the
yeah,
people in their life. And for the right person, that's everything.
yeah,
That's like, yes, I want that in my life. That's way better than, sure, I'll make 10,000 more a year here, but it's going to cost me my relationships, my
yeah.
mental health.
Or it's going to cost you 10 grand in gas. So it's like,
Yes. Oh my
and
gosh.
stuck in traffic. So it's,
Uh,
I think it's just something that some of the leaders of companies just still today don't get. I think there's some people that are still like, you're going to be in the office because I say so. You're going to be in the office because that way I feel like I have control. It really is about, kind of ultimate productivity and the old mindset of thinking that somebody's productive 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day
mm,
is not right.
mhm.
So if you can get that max several hour of extreme focus and productivity in a day, who cares what time it is? Like
Yeah.
that's all you're trying to do is like you're trying to get stuff done. You're trying to get it to be great. And who cares the schedule or where they do it physically? So
Mhm. How do you kind of so you I mean, you're so clear about what you're looking for in your standards and behavioral standards as an individual when you bring them on. And now that you have hybrid employees, do you do anything that in order to just intentionally facilitate and maintain that culture with your team?
Um, yes, we the the daily or twice daily stand-ups that the data team has, the CS team has, which is probably uncommon for CS to do, but it's driven by the development team. Those are every day.
Okay.
An exact schedule. They've got to be on camera. The the accountability aspect is something that's very strong in everyone that's been here for a while, and so we rely on everyone else to do it as well. So I think that everyone knows that it doesn't just have to come from the top as this constant reminder. It's just you show it, you do it in your daily actions and how you do things, and people will catch on. And if they
Mhm.
don't, then talk to them about it. What's going on? What you don't seem like you're as productive, have the hard conversations now until they become a lot harder later when it's a bigger deal. So I think that our team has done a great job of just setting the expectation of accountability. You're going to be accountable to the work that you're going to do. You've got to get it done. It's got to be great. And they're not afraid to have the conversations with them about um, when they need to do better or when they're doing great. It can't just
Yeah.
be one sided of always do better. It needs to be you're doing an awesome job. Keep it up.
'Cause there is that clear standard to hold them to. I think
Absolutely.
oftentimes, if a company doesn't define that clearly, it's a lot harder to hold someone to an expectation that hasn't been clearly defined versus one that has, especially
Yeah.
one that you defined even from the interview process.
Yeah. 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 I got to give most of the credit to the rest of the team for just continuing every day, um, just setting the standard. They're not just sitting there
Mhm.
watching; they're doing it themselves. So
And
we just
because
have a
of
great
that,
team.
I mean, your team, the way that they work together, knowing what they value, their loyalty to the company, as a business, you guys have done some pretty cool things because your team can work together with the level of trust and accountability that they need.
Yeah, I've always said, and I truly believe this, and maybe not always. In the beginning, it was questionable what we can do, but I truly believe there isn't anything we can't do with the team that we have. And I think every time that there's a change, you're going to have some change, whether uh, it's the company's choice, the team's choice, or the individual's choice that they want to go do something different. We have always made the team better. So yeah, that sucks at the time, but we've always taken the opportunity to always improve. And so, today we've got the best team we've ever had. And some of the stuff we're doing with AI, and we started 3 years ago when nobody else was even talking
Mm,
about it. And now it's in our product and it's saving our customers time and money and earning them money. So yeah, I think just knowing that we can do anything as a company.
mhm.
There's nothing we can't do. And even with our size and we have bigger competitors and uh, other things. But yeah,
What
it's
is what's your approach? I mean, because you guys have been with doing AI, like you said, for the last few years. But I guess, what's your philosophy on balancing the AI side and the people and relationships
yeah,
side,
I I
internally and externally?
yeah, I view the AI as two parts in a company. I view it as using it in the company itself. So are you using it in your team and your role and, marketing, creating copy, creating email campaigns? That's how we would use it in the company. But the harder part is using it in your product.
Mhm,
So using it in your product, it actually works really well for data, and thank goodness it's here because there's a lot of things that we said we wouldn't do because we didn't want to offshore the work to more manual processes. And so and now we can do all the things that we wanted to do at scale in our product because of AI. So I view it. Can you use it in your product to improve your customers' lives? That's awesome. Obviously, can you use it in your company to improve your productivity and get more stuff done? I think more companies can do that than in the product side. But yeah, we have channel on Slack where we share what we're doing, and we have a all hands company meeting where every department shows what they're working on. Um, and the last quite a while, almost everything is something to do with AI, where
Hmm.
BDRs are sending out data audits to distributor prospects. They're basically using AI to scrape parts of their site for the product data. And so things that you talk about doing forever, but you could never do that in uh, historically. So it's pretty cool to hear what people are doing, and the more you the more you show you can do something that no one else in any other department thought of, the more creative people are getting in what they're trying, even if it fails.
So you're bringing them together to, like, share what whether it's successful or not, just creating this environment where people are just kind of brainstorming and feeding off of each other to be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think of it like that. That's super cool."
Yep.
And,
Yep.
even if you're in the dev team and this person's in the customer service team.
Yeah. Yeah. We're using it to analyze sales pipeline and these recorded calls and things like that, where you think you heard something, but you can just use just the data to analyze some of this stuff. And so it's pretty cool. So it it's not saying, all right, everyone in the company go do AI Fridays or some of the stupid things that I've heard companies do. It's show by example. Everyone, somebody had to start, and Joel, and so Joel was
Mhm.
the iron fist that I said, go ahead, you do it. You have my full support. And if anyone says, no, I don't want to do it, then you can tell them to come talk to me. So Joel was the iron fist that made everyone, or the dev team was the first one. And so he led by example and did stuff that is still crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Crazy
you guys
stuff.
were doing stuff like that before AI even. I feel like that's just like a characteristic of your company is that mindset of how can we challenge the status quo? Because even what you guys did in the welding and gas world,
Yeah.
well, gas specifically of
Yeah.
creating product data that did not exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, and that was before AI,
It was before AI. Yeah. It was very programmatic, very time consuming, but it was pretty cool.
but driven by that f force, like within a person, or within people to say, "We're gonna do this. We're gonna find a way to do
This is a
this."
problem. Let's find a way to fix it.
And it was a big problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't just and I guess what always impresses me is it wasn't just a technical problem, right? It was one thing to figure out the technical side. It was another
Mhm.
thing to then build the relationships, give the education, and change the mindset of the customers that you guys brought this to.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for going first. Thanks for being the guinea pig. We owe a lot of that to you, and then you standing
Uh,
up on stage and
well,
being the first one. So yeah, we always
I
need
I my
somebody to
job
go
was easy
first.
compared to what you guys had to do.
Well, it worked well, so we had a lot of help.
But it was but to me, the real accomplishment of that was because of the team that you had. Like, it really
Yeah,
was the people who drove that and
yeah,
their ability, because I saw them in I mean, to change mindsets is no small task, and to change behavior is even harder, and it was just like they navigated through so many difficult conversations, not because they had to or because you were there cracking the whip behind them, but
yeah,
because they knew what they were trying to accomplish.
yeah. It's pretty funny, and thank you. Yes, it's uh, uh, say Elon again. Big fan. But I think one of the quotes that stuck, and I think it's very true in software, is that the ideas are easy, the execution is hard. And
Mhm.
so people can always come up with ideas. And I historically, idea after idea after idea, but having the team that can execute the idea is awesome. It's so cool. Now, having said that, I've had ideas that the team has executed, and it turns out like, A, the market's not ready for it, or it wasn't super well thought out, but they built what we wanted, or what I told them we wanted to do. So there's sometimes when I go in and I'm like, hey, I've got an idea, there's a little bit of eye rolling. So it's, but it's overall, it's been great. And they, they can challenge me, and they do. I'm like, hey, tell me if this is a bad idea. If it is, then, and so everyone's got the freedom to, tell me that that's just a stupid idea, or I don't think it's the right time. So I think I've, hopefully given everyone the freedom to challenge me on some of these knee
That can be
jerk
a hard thing to
ideas.
do, to challenge the leader. Do you feel like you had to work for that to get them where they felt comfortable doing that?
I think it's harder for me because I think just historically, uh, it's like, it can be a, uh, ego thing where, don't challenge, but in the end,
Don't
like,
tell me I'm wrong.
yeah, but in the end, it's no different than the, relationship with my wife. Like, if I think I'm always right, then I'm not willing to accept that I'm wrong on something or something. So it's really the same thing to me. And so it's as long as I'm fine with it, then they can be super open. If I'm defensive and I turn into an a-hole, then they'll never do it again. So
Mhm.
they just have to set the, you have to, you, I have to go first. Like, you
You
tell
do.
me that I can do this, and then I don't overreact, or I agree with it, and then they feel like they can do it again or anytime. So it's,
Mhm.
I don't think I was always like that. I think I've learned along the way to be better, be more
Well,
open to
I
criticism.
think
So
a lot of us go on that journey.
yeah.
Um, as a leader, I mean, going through all the ups and downs and learning how to, like, build your team and stuff, how has the quality of your team and the team dynamic changed what your role as a leader and even inside and outside of work has looked like?
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. I think, I'm always trying to find out and ask myself, what are my strengths? And that can change over time. I think it's definitely company wise, it's changed with AI. And so where can I be most useful to the team? Where can I be most useful to the company? And I spend a lot of time with marketing. I would say I spend a lot of time with sales. I spend zero time with on the dev side, other than uh, project priorities, which I really like to do, and can bring the sales and marketing aspect of that into the priorities. So yeah, I think it's changed over the years for sure. Um, but yeah, I think for me, it's just where can I be most useful?
Mhm.
I think with AI, I can be super useful with marketing, because I know the problems that the customers have. I see it with the on the sales side, and so I can interact with the AI and the prompts differently than others can, because I can really fine tune the nuances. And so, yeah, I pretty much do all the copy anymore, but I can do it
Um,
in super quick.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
not bragging. I'm just saying that
Yes.
it's just been so tuned. Our co-pilots are so tuned to the marketing and what DDS does, and I had a big part in the nuances of that. And so
Mhm.
I like doing it, and I think it's been fun, and I think marketing historically is, it's cool. but it's so slow. It's such a slow process because it's got to touch so many hands, and then there's the design aspect, there's um, the red line aspect. So I think anymore it's fun. I enjoy doing it, and so I think that's where I spend my time.
Mhm. Did you ever have the kind of the founder just crazy season of life where you felt like the business was kind of consuming you, consuming your sleep,
Yeah.
your life
Yeah.
outside of work?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's well, and you know Jenny. So my wife has been involved since day one, which makes it 10 times worse for
Yes.
her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the first year never took a day off, 365 days a year, because in the beginning you think everything's important, even
Yeah.
the little things you think is important or are important. So yeah, I think when COVID hit, and then Jenny and I were both working here and we're both stuck at home. That's when it really hit and it became hard on the marriage side, especially for her. She's like, it's too much. It's just nonstop DDS. It's after work at night on the weekends, and that's the conversations. And so it got pretty bad and just consuming. And so that was a really good lesson for me. I still do. I still think about it, but I just try not
Mhm.
to talk about it as much. But it's hard. It's at some point you do have to separate yourself because it's not your identity. It's a big
Mhm.
part of you for sure, and it's definitely something to be proud of. We've done great things, and it's a great company, but it does take a toll, and especially when your spouse is also working there, it's a lot.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, absolutely. Probably worse because of Jenny working here, various roles and off and on over the years. I'm getting better.
It is hard. I've been in business with my husband for
That's
as
right.
long as we've been married. I
That's
mean,
right.
it's
Yeah.
and yeah, we've totally rode that roller coaster of it and going all up and down and figuring out how do we make this work? How do we balance raising our children? How do we
Yeah.
balance running the business? And
Yep.
especially when there's not necessarily a Monday through Friday
Yeah.
schedule and you can lay in bed at 10 o'clock at night and talk about,
Yeah.
what you're doing. And I've
Yeah.
learned actually that's what I try to do. I'm like, I can't talk about work at night before bed because if I do, I will never go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a chat. We've found the balance now. I go to the office every day. Jenny works at home. Um, and just try to have some separation, especially at home. So
Mhm. Try to
it's
do
good.
some things
Yeah,
outside of
she's
work.
been a trooper though, so I'll give
Yeah,
give her
yeah, and I mean, it's a blessing too to have, like, your spouse because they understand, right? It's like they understand what you're going through, or to an extent of like, "Okay, I'm in this with you, like, we are in this together."
yeah.
Um, but
Yeah, I think where I definitely have taken advantage of that, where, "Hey, let's go to this, trade show, and it'll be fun because it's in a fun place," but then all you do is end up working and stuck in a booth, and so I've definitely taken advantage of that, in the past.
yes.
Not the lie,
Yeah.
but,
No, it's it's
uh,
it's yeah, just learning and being able to, like you said, separate that knowing that your identity isn't your business, although sometimes it's easy to feel like that, with the rise and the fall
yeah,
of the business, sometimes the rise and the
yeah,
fall of how you feel about who you are as an individual.
yeah, yeah, it
But
it
yeah,
it can be a roller coaster for sure.
it can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But having your team, like the team that you have
Yeah.
now today, do you feel like that's taken a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of um
I
a lot of things off your plate that maybe you used to feel like you had to manage and you didn't have people you could trust to
100%.
delegate it
Yeah,
to?
I don't worry about anything. with the business. They've got it. I can I could go on vacation and um, they've got everything. I don't worry about
Do
one.
you take vacations now? Like,
Yeah.
will you check out and, like, just go and not work?
I don't not work, but I will work in. I will do check in small doses.
Okay.
I won't obsess, and so I'll try to have uh, maybe first thing in the morning, check in, just email, Slack, and maybe one other time during the day. But I don't sit there and obsess, and I'm not the one getting the phone calls and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's so much different than it was years and years ago. I trust the team 100%. They've got it. There's nothing that they can't do, and so for me, it's probably more curiosity and where can I be helpful, and so it's yeah, it's pretty cool.
You're not afraid that you're gonna come back to, like, a big
Not
mess
one
or
bit.
which
They'll
is
tell
so
me,
great.
yeah, they'll tell me if there's something, but so much of our company is development and pipelines and workflows and all this stuff. I can't help. I don't even have access to that stuff. So it's like,
'Cause they
what
don't
can
give
I
you
do?
access.
Like, I don't know. I can't, I can't tell you what to do. You guys know what to do. So yeah, they don't give me access. So yeah,
Which is a great feeling to know that, like, you run a company where you are not the expert at everything that happens in your like, you are not the dev
no,
guy, you are not the like, you really do have
no,
people that you're just like, "Man, I trust you because I couldn't do this myself if I wanted to."
no, no,
But because you have those people, you guys have been able to do amazing things. You have not been the ceiling of your company.
no. And I tell them to do the same thing. When you go on vacation, uh, you know, go on vacation, take your time, and they do it too. They know that their team's got their back. So yeah, it's not just me that has that.
Yeah, which is, that's I mean, to me, like, that's awesome to be able to
Yeah,
know that you can truly take time off and recharge and enjoy time with your family and know that
yeah,
what you go back to is not a burden or a stress,
no,
that hopefully it's
yeah,
something where they're like, "Yay, I'm excited to go back to work because
yeah. That's how it should
I."
be. That's the goal when you go.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is the goal.
yeah,
I think that's been kinda like the biggest, drive for me is, 1, experiencing what it feels like to just enjoy work and know that that's possible,
yeah,
and because I've been in so many roles where I didn't,
yeah,
and it was either because I was with the wrong team or I was in the wrong role. I mean, of just, like, doing something that I am just not naturally wired to do and
yeah,
constantly feeling that friction, but knowing that, like, wow, if we spend 40 hours a week at work or 50 or 60, however many, it's like,
yeah,
why wouldn't we want to enjoy the majority of that time? Or like you said, enjoy the people you work with.
yeah,
And I think if more leaders had this mindset of like, okay, when I build my team, I want everybody to actually enjoy working together, and that alone could just drastically change how people feel at work.
yeah. And if someone is not working out, you got to let them go immediately. Like you've got to do it. You
Mhm.
cannot delay and linger, that kind of stuff. You
Have you learned that the hard way?
Yeah, I think early on, yeah, we let a couple personalities really drive, and they were super talented, super smart, super productive. They really helped us, but the personality was really bad. And so we learned it then, and that was really early on. And it's hard when you're first starting because it, mistakes can really cost you.
Mhm.
And when you get more mature, and you can make mistakes, and it's you know what the outcome's going to be. But yeah, definitely early on, and Probably let those go on a little too long, and ever
Did
since
you
then,
know
and
it?
try
Like,
to
was that something where it's like you knew it and you just kinda
know it.
wrestled
Yeah,
with it?
you 100% know it. The team knows it. The team's complaining about them, and if you're not listening to the team, then they're going to quit telling you at some point, and you never want that. So yeah, it's you just gotta you gotta let them go and go do something else, and your team will thank you for it forever.
Do you
So
remember, like, the mindset or the thoughts that you wrestled with of, like, why you were afraid to let them go? Like, when you knew you needed to, but why maybe what did you tell yourself as to, like
you just don't want a disruption in productivity, and you know that it takes a while to get somebody up to speed, and even developers that are super smart, and it takes a while to get somebody up to speed. So you just don't want to lose time,
Mhm.
especially when you're kind of young in a company, and that time's critical.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the justification anyway. But the reality is you're gonna lose time either way, because everyone else is going to be miserable working with that person. Um, Then especially when you're all in the office and you can't escape. It's probably easier when you're hybrid now, but yeah, it's not all just who you hire, but you've got to be willing to let people go when they're not the right
Mhm.
fit, or they're not kind of getting it, or they're a personality miss. Then you got to do it,
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah, and you probably felt, like, relief afterwards.
You do, and you watch your team after, and the way 100% of the time they rally around that. They do. They pick up the slack. Because they're just relieved of not having to deal with whatever it was, and then you bring someone new in, and then you got someone new that brings excitement into the team, and so yeah, it works really well. I mean, it sucks, but it is business. It's not you're not running a charity. You're running a business.
Mhm.
You're not in business to employ the wrong people for your business.
Right. No, it hurts everyone in the long run.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So
So what do you guys have kind of on the forefront at DDS, or what big exciting things are you guys kind of working on right now?
yeah, most of what we're doing, I always think about product with that question, and I think for us it's that data's hard because there's so many products, there's so much, and it's just a moving target, and it's always changing, and so we're doing a lot of technical partnerships and technical integrations in our industries that we haven't had some of these companies before. We hadn't had Shopify or BigCommerce,
Yeah,
and
that's
uh,
huge.
we got Shopware. We got the PIM companies like InRiver and Akenio, and you've got more ERPs coming in, and doing a phenomenal job. So agencies, which never had, I don't remember more than a handful of agencies in our lower tech industry. So I think technology is moving, and the cool thing is that I've always believed that the software, the technology will move these industries forward.
Mhm. I
So
I
I think
agree.
I think that's big for us, and it's really fun. It's fun to see these and meet these companies, spend time with these companies, because the first thing they always say is the data is the hardest problem, because they're all coming from the retail side, and
Mhm.
now they've saturated retail, and now they're coming into the B2B side, and so it's a really good fit, and it's fun because I've been complaining for 11 and a half years that there are not any of these great technology companies that are serving retail in our low tech industries. And so now they're here, and it's fun to work with them. It's fun to learn from them and what they're doing with AI and their product, and how we're integrating with them. And so the end result is deeper integrations for our customers, real time sync with these websites, real time onboarding with the PIM and some of these, and then having these agency partners that can help do the onboarding, do the work, do the
Mhm.
integration, do the customizations, is super cool. So that's a big thing for us right now is just
Yeah.
more deeper integrations and helping our customers get better
Is
software into our low tech industries.
Does it feel like it's snowballing? Because it feels like things are just moving so fast right now.
It feels like everything moves so slow to me. It's, I just,
Not
it,
fast enough for you.
it's never fast enough, but it's very welcome. I hope it looks faster from the outside, but
It does, it looks really
okay, good,
fast from the
good,
outside.
good.
Especially just when I think about how long it felt like it took when we were doing this in the, gas and welding industry,
Yeah,
especially at the beginning. I mean, it was it was a slow start, and then it just got faster and faster and faster,
yeah,
and then, like, every quarter it was like, "Oh my gosh, they're changing this, and they're changing this, and they're changing this,"
yeah.
but
I think for us, what we're able to get done with AI helping on the dev side and product side is pretty incredible.
yeah.
So we're looking at what are the problems our customers having? Solve that. What is the next problem? Solve that. Next problem, solve
Mhm.
that. So in the beginning, it was just kind of product detail data. Um, now we've got to compete with AI, and people are trying to create product data with AI, which to me, a the quality's uh, not as good as I think people think it's going to be. Um, it's also, what are you going to do with it then? Because it's no different than companies that were paying scraping companies to give them product detail data before. You still got to upload it to your systems or have integrations with the systems. And so you still got to categorize it, still got to normalize it, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're trying to do all that.
Yeah. Well, you have the team to do it, and I think
Yeah.
you guys have that, like, that mindset of what are the problems, and let's tackle the things that other companies aren't tackling
Yeah.
because maybe they're afraid, but it's like, you guys aren't afraid of a problem, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're not, and we know we can scale. That's the cool thing is we've worked with some of the biggest manufacturers and distributors in the world, and they have real problems because of the size. So yeah, we're not afraid. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're looking forward to it. It's nice having AI help us expedite that. So it's a welcome time.
Well, I think you have the right combination with, your I think it's your team, right, that really
Yeah,
drives all of this and you guys' ability to do it. So,
yeah, yep,
yeah, I really appreciate just all the insight that
yeah,
you've been willing to share about your company and what you guys have done to be
yeah,
successful with it.
yeah. Thank you for thinking of me. I wish you the very best of luck. I will help you however I can. So let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Um, yeah, it's an important piece. I just if nothing else, one closing thing to remember or advice:
Mhm.
pay attention to your hiring process,
Yes.
whatever it is. Just it's probably not. It can always be better. We're always trying to improve it. We think we've got a pretty good formula, but we're always, and we meet after we hire someone, like what went right, what went wrong. I don't know if leaders pay enough attention to that. You choose who you're going to work with, and you choose who your team's going to work with, and it's fun if you do it right.
Yes, I think that's so wise. I think the hiring process is just crucial.
It
So
is. Yeah. Yep. Critical.
awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're
That
welcome.
is all for this episode,
Okay.
and I'll see you guys next
All right.
time.
All right. Thanks, Amy.